Hello there, my beautiful Sagittarius signs. It's Rachael with Dark Knight Coaching. Today's tarot reading is all about you. This is going to be a reading for Sagittarius Sun or Moon or Rising signs, whoever. If you're guided to watch this, chances are there's something for you, even if it's the smallest little thing. So if something in this message resonates, smash that like button. It helps my channel grow and it helps me know that something did resonate with you and makes me keep doing these videos. So I pull a traditional Celtic cross spread for you, Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius sun, so these messages are just as much for you as it is for me. And I actually found that today's message was very much so spot on with some things that I'm going through in my life currently. So hopefully this message will resonate with the collective signs of Sagittarius or cross watchers. Just remember, energy is fluid. So if this message doesn't feel like it's your message, it may not be, but it might be somebody in your energy. Now, when I meditate on your energy, I listen to music. So the song that I was listening to was Dance to It by Sarah Reeves. I think it's called Dance to It. Yeah, it's called Dance to It. So I'll put that in the title. That's usually how I title my videos, by whatever song I'm guided to listen to. And basically it just gets me in a gamma brainwave state. And when you're in that state, you're connected with your crown chakra and the ether, essentially. So this is scientific fact. I like to incorporate a lot of psychology and science into my readings because people tend to think like, tarot or mystical things are bad, or, magic and it's dark things. And that's kind of a misconception. And I have done a lot of research and read a lot of books, and everything I find is actually pretty well based in science and quantum physics and the ether and things like that. If you know what I'm talking about, then smash that like button. If you don't know what I'm talking about, give it a Google, or read a lot of books. Quantum Spirituality is a great book to read if you're interested in learning how some people are able to access supernatural abilities, like psychics or mediums or intuitive people or empaths, basically. So now for your traditional Celtic cross spread, I had a couple clarifiers come out on their own, so I went with that energy. But there is progress being made here, Sagittarius. The first card I pulled for you is the Nine of Cups. So whatever you've been manifesting, whatever you've been wishing or hoping for or trying to do, it is coming to fruition. But the challenge in your energy was the Nine of Pentacles. Now that's 2 nines in a row, which is a synchronicity. And the Nine of Pentacles is all about like putting in the work on yourself. It's also kind of like an independent energy. So a lot of you might be single at this time, but it's primarily a card of like doing the work and really throwing yourself into your work. And with the Nine of Cups being there, it's like whatever you're wanting and manifesting and wishing and hoping for, you have to really work hard for, because it's not going to come and just show up at your door. It's just, that's unfortunately just not how things work unless you win the lottery. And you're Sagittarius, you're the most luckiest sign in the zodiac, is what they say. So if anybody's going to win the lottery, hopefully it would be you or me, whatever. But I don't feel like this is lottery winnings, and I'm not encouraging anyone to go spend their money that way. Not that I don't buy a scratch off every now and then, but you never know, I suppose. Now, the basis of the situation, or the foundation of what's happening for you or why it's happening, is the Six of Swords. You're really trying to get out of like rocky seas, muddied waters, into calm, smooth sailing. That's what's motivating you. That's what's driving you at this time. And the Six of Swords is a card showing like you are getting there. It's just some things you're not seeing clearly because you have the Moon card in your past energy. And the Moon is about illusions. It's also about cycles, and it's about it's something being veiled. Like you're not, maybe haven't seen something, I don't want to say correctly, but you just aren't seeing things very clearly. And it's just maybe causing a bit of apprehension or insecurity, just a bit unsure of where you're headed, and that can feel scary because it's change, basically. Now, in your present vibe, you have the Magician, And this ties to this Nine of Cups and Nine of Pentacles energy very well, because to me, the Magician is all about alchemy, and it's about using the tools of manifestation, using the sword, using the cup, using the pentacle, using the wand to try to transmute something, whatever it is you're experiencing, whatever sort of hardship. You're really trying to dig yourself out of it, and you're really trying to make lemonade out of the life's lemons that's been given to you. And I do, in your future, I do see you doing it successfully, because with this, this is one of the best cards in the deck. With this 10 of Cups, you're successfully transmuting the pain of the past, and cups are about emotion. So it's like you're going to feel emotionally fulfilled, because you've done something that's going to affect not only like your legacy, but you're breaking the chains of the past, and you're really breaking out of the mold. Like I don't know. It's hard to put into words, like this energy. It's just a very optimistic energy. It's well deserved as well. It's just like you've done a lot of healing and a lot of work and a lot of introspection, and you're really moving forward, because what's in your control is the Wheel of Fortune, and that is a card about moving forward and progress. It's also a card about divine timing, so I don't feel like there's anything else you can do to help make this move faster. It's just going to be like consistent behaviors and consistent patterns, because I feel like you've already made the decision and the choice to move forward and to pursue whatever this endeavor is that's requiring you to work hard. It's already been made. You've already selected the path. It's just a matter of continuing. Now, how do people see you? They see you as this Page of Pentacles. Maybe they don't understand where you're coming from. This is kind of like a novice energy. So it's like it's a prejudgment of like, they don't see the seed that you're planting, how that's going to become fruitful. But that's it's none of their business, really. It's maybe they just think, oh, that's cute. Like, that's a cute little endeavor you're starting there. But I think they underestimate you, Sagittarius, because this is going to be very fruitful for longevity, because you have the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. Now, the 10 of Pentacles is in your hopes and fears. It's like you're hoping that this is going to be successful long term and really help your family and maybe many others. And I do feel like you've made this commitment to yourself, and it might be just a slow moving energy where you're going to harvest this seed over time. It may not be like a quick instant reward, but it is going to change and secure this future of happiness and success, and give you some sort of freedom or validation. Now, in your potential outcome, you have the Tower, and then this one came out right beside it. So I took them both, because to me, a Tower moment is usually like a bad thing, but it's not, because in this case, you're breaking down past behavior patterns, past situations, past relationships or friendships that didn't serve you, or maybe it was a past career that you didn't enjoy doing, and you're like, I'm never going to do that again. I'd rather do anything else. And you have that clarified by the Fool here, which is a brand new chapter, a brand new path that you've picked and selected, and you're starting anew, you're starting fresh. Now, in your subconscious energy, you have a card of apathy, which is 4 of Cups. So it's like emotionally, you're not quite fully satisfied yet, or maybe it's just not the way you had envisioned things to be because of that Moon card in your past. It's like a bittersweet gift, but it's not going like according to a plan that you had in place or whatever you had envisioned in your mind. It seems like there's a bit of detour here. But it's a detour that's divinely guided, because you have the Wheel of Fortune, which this is also a lucky card. But it's luck is not always just like winning the lottery. Luck is like being divinely guided to like serendipitous situations or people or things. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening here. But it's in regards to some sort of opportunity that's going to be presented to you. It could be in a family situation or a job or some sort of business endeavor. Just a lot of stuff with business because there's a lot of pentacles here. So that hopefully resonates with you, Sagittarius. If it does, smash that like button because it helps my channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. I am going to pull a bunch of oracle cards for you and see what other messages your guides and spirit has to say. But go listen to that song because before I got on camera, I do like somatic healing and things like that, but dancing in your kitchen or dancing alone or whatever is a great way to do a lot of healing because our hips as Sagittarians hold a lot of trauma. And if you have had trauma and past pain, which we all generally do, you're probably holding on to that physically. So even if you hula hoop, I know that sounds maybe a little weird to some of you, but if you're a hula hooper or you know how to hula hoop, that's a great way to release tension that you're holding in your hips. And that's what I do. I like read an article a very long time ago about like Selma Hayek. She was like exercising, and her method of choice to exercise was using a weighted hula hoop. And I was like, I never even heard of a weighted hula hoop. And now I have like 2 of them. So that's kind of how I get my somatic healing released in some ways. So that might be helpful for some of you out there. Oops. All right. Ooh, you have snake. That's cool. Snakes are all about wisdom, by the way. So if you don't know what a snake is, when you hear about the Bible and the story of Adam and Eve, the snake is actually about wisdom. Everybody thinks it's about temptation and things like that, but the snake is actually about shedding old skins and alchemizing things and starting new, starting fresh. And that's what's in your energy. So the snake card says, be sensitive to your healing abilities towards yourself or others. Always remember people are on their own spiritual path or journeys, and you cannot rush anyone else. You cannot make anyone else do anything else to understand you or relate to you. People can only meet you at the level for which they have met themselves, Sagittarius. And sometimes that's just bittersweet. And it kind of stinks when you're on a path of enlightenment and a path of healing, and not everyone's ready to meet you there. So you might have like almost like a survivor's guilt is what I'm hearing, because you have the guilt card here. This is tied to your sacral chakra, which is like your pleasure center area, your reproductive organs, something like that. You might have guilt when it comes to not being able to help someone else, but also remember, like, people can only choose to heal when they're ready for that, and sometimes that may not be in this lifetime. There's a difference between helping and enabling as well, so make sure you're discerning that. Now, the next card I have is, I am grateful for all that is unfolding in my life and all that is yet to come. Staying in this attitude of gratitude, especially when you're going through this new shift, new change, this tower moment, can be a difficult thing to do, but Spirit really wants you to breathe and to focus, because you have number 29, breathe, and be in the now, be in the present moment. Because if we lose ourselves in the past, that's regret and remorse, and that's probably where this guilt is coming from. And if we go too forward thinking into the future, that's anxiety producing. So the sweet spot is the present now moment of embracing where you are and how and appreciating how you got there. Now, some of you might have Virgo in your chart, Sagittarius, or you're dealing with a Virgo. It says new moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than to take. This could also be tied to just the Virgo season, which is, which is closed. So something there might be significant for some of you. Something about a Virgo birthday. Sometimes I get messages and I don't really know what they are. They feel like intrusive thoughts, but it's actually not. Ooh, yeah, something about a birthday and roses. Weird. This card is Alethea. I'm not sure about the story of Alethea, so you might want to check that out. Alethea. Black and white. Not everything's black and white. Gray area, roses, a golden pearl of wisdom, something about your crown chakra as well. Purple, the color purple. The color purple, the book. The color purple, the movie. Just something about wearing purple. Sometimes I don't understand the messages, but you guys might understand the messages. So when I get strange things or things pop into my head, I just blurt it out, because that's how sometimes spirit communicates. So that might be a message for somebody out there. But black and white roses, or maybe even purple roses. Purple roses are actually my favorite kind of rose, and they're very rare. So maybe that has something to do with that as well. Alethea. All right, you have the Power of Love card called Ownership. It says you acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike, and you learn to love them all as lessons. Wow, okay, this might be tied to this black and white card here. It's like not everything is black and white. Maybe you had to make the choices in the past that you had to make because there were illusions and there wasn't clarity, and something was being veiled from you or hidden from you that was kind of out of your control. And if you would have been informed, if you would have maybe had the proper context of the information, maybe you would have made a different choice, Sagittarius. So sometimes people can deceive us or betray us by hiding facets of themselves or aspects of themselves because they're in a shame. They're like living in fear or shame, and sometimes that can really cause tower moments where we're like, wow, like why would that person even do that? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. But being a Sagittarius, we're usually very forthcoming, and we're very blunt, and we're very open and honest and transparent, and unfortunately not a lot of people are that way. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. So that might be kind of what you're going through. And it's like not only taking ownership for your choices, but like taking ownership for the decisions you made with the information you were provided. Sometimes people say that like, I did the best I could with what I had. And I hate that saying because I feel like that can be such a cop-out statement. For someone who knows that they made mistakes, and instead of just apologizing, they say, well, I did the best I could with what I have. And they use it almost like as a defense mechanism to stay in a victim mode or a martyrdom state. And I personally don't like that statement, but that might be a message that resonates with some of you. So I just think that, recognizing that you're human, Sagittarius, and recognizing that people are all human and we do all make mistakes, and we sometimes we a lot of the times inflict trauma when we're not even meaning to. But if you're feeling a triggered response by someone's behavior or someone's actions or words or whatever it is, chances are it's so you can see the darkness. It's so you can heal that shadow or that childhood wound that's been festering on, and it bubbles up to the surface so you can see it and you can try to fix it. And that's what the magician is all about. That's what alchemy is all about. That's what the snake is all about. It's like shedding that old skin, that old mindset, that old way of thinking. It's also kind of what the tower's about, because you're breaking down traditional belief systems or values or cultural ideas that you had in place once upon a time that are not serving you anymore. And maybe they never served you in the first place. It was just what you were kind of indoctrinated to believe in. And I feel like that is shifting now because you're growing and becoming wiser, and you're moving on. So you're beginning anew. Now, oh goodness. Okay, you have number 55. I'm a little surprised, but I'm not, because I've been seeing 55 everywhere. Ever since I started my spiritual journey, number 55 is like haunting me. So 55, 555 is a symbolic number of change. It is also like, I like to think of it as like the hero's journey number. If you're familiar with runes, you know that like ing is the hero's journey symbol, which is kind of like two X's connected. If you're not sure what runes are, go check them out. It has to do with like Norse, not mythology, but Norse cultural stuff, like the Norse gods, basically. So go give that a Google if you feel so inclined. But number 55 is about abundance, creating success. So it says, do not mourn, a fitting sacrifice at noon. a wealth of resources, but also a wealth of choices, tasks, and demands. This is a crucial moment where it all comes together in a time of abundance. There is no place for sorrow or anxiety. It is not the time to hide yourself away and decide what you will do to make the practical preparations to go forward. What are you called on to do, and what decisions must you take now? Oof, it's a heavy card, Sagittarius. I'm not going to lie. It's like a burden of responsibility is falling on your shoulders to break the chains, to move forward, to help establish this legacy you're very much so wanting to build and trying to make come to fruition. It's a card of like trials and tribulations, and grit, having a lot of grit in a time where, like, I don't know, you might just feel like rough around the edges, but it's also like polishing this pearl of wisdom. Basically, it's going to require a lot of elbow grease and a lot of alchemy and a lot of transmuting pain from the past and trying to turn it into taking lead and turning it into gold, essentially. So just a heavy energy. Don't forget to breathe, Sagittarius. Even in this reading, I'm like, like my anxiety is high just doing this reading. Like, oh my god, you're probably thinking like, how am I doing this? I don't know, but we're Sagittarius, so we're pretty resourceful and scrappy. So all right, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Hopefully this video helped. Again, if it did, please smash that like button. It helps my channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. If you're interested in a one-on-one coaching session, please feel free to reach out. If you're interested in a personalized tarot reading, kind of like what I just pulled, but I tap into your specific energy, feel free to reach out and I can get more messages for you as well. Yeah, that's really all I have for you today, and I will see you next time.